How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good? All right. So, on Tuesday night, we had our show of pancake dinner to raise funds for our high school mission trip this summer. And I want to say thank you to everybody who came out and offered prayers and support and all that. And so we were getting ready to make these tasty pancakes. And I wanted to make sure that everyone knew each other. And so I had the youth and the adults who were working in the kitchen share their names, and because I couldn't come up with something more creative on the spot, and I've used a lot of them, I asked them what their name was and their favorite movie. And the overwhelming favorite of both the kids and the adults were the Star Wars movies. And I kind of have to agree. But I confess that I love almost all movies that pitch ultimate good in a showdown battle against ultimate evil. Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader, Harry Potter versus Voldemort, Middle Earth versus Sauron. There's something riveting about movies and stories where good does battle with evil for the fate of the world. And that's kind of what we have set up for us this morning, right? You know, we have Jesus, the Son of God, versus the devil, the Satan, the embodiment of all that resists and defies God. And we have this showdown in the wilderness. And what happens? Jesus wins. But how does he win? He resists. Angels come and help him. Does Jesus drop kick the devil?
Doesn't give in to temptation.
He doesn't give in to temptation. Does he punch the devil? What do they do? They talk. It's sort of a lame scene. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, they're talking at each other. There's no lightsabers. There's no sword play. There's no spells cast. They talk. And it's kind of a letdown after many of the blockbuster movies that I've seen. But there is a detail that I really thought was cool. All right? And there's a move that the devil makes, an attack strategy that Satan employs that I think is super interesting. The Son of God and the Prince of Darkness are squaring off. And the devil says, "You're really hungry. Why don't you miracle these stones into bread?" And Jesus shuts him down by doing what? He says something. Can't live by bread alone. He is quoting what? Scripture. Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, all right? And this is where things get really interesting. The devil then tries to take Jesus to the top of the temple and tempt him to jump off to prove his sonship by making God rescue him. And how does Satan decide to back up this suggestion? Scripture. What? The devil knows Scripture? For it is written, he will command his angels concerning you. On their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against the stone. Thus says the Lord in the book of Psalms. The devil quotes Scripture, the Bible, to try to convince Jesus to do something foolish and destructive. We have a word for this now that we call this proof texting. All right? And proof texting, what that is where you go into the Bible and you have something that you want to do. And so you go into the Bible and you find a passage that supports what you want to do. And then you put it out there as, oh, the Bible says, to support your thought, your opinion, your position. What could be some of the dangers of proof texting? What could be some of the dangers?
Out of context.
Out of context, yes. Context. Definitely. That could be a major issue. What else?
You could turn someone against your listening to Scripture.
You could turn somebody against Scripture. Yeah. And I'm not looking for anything. I'm just curious. What else? What are some of the dangers?
You're interpreting your view.
You're putting your view into Scripture rather than Scripture's view in Scripture. So I want to give you a couple examples that have been used. Slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and with sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. Ephesians 6:5. Therefore, it's okay to own slaves, right? That was used. And then in John 14:14, this one still gets tossed around. You may ask me for anything in my name, and I will do it. So Jesus becomes a divine ATM to us. We know that context is super important when reading and studying the Bible and trying to apply it to our lives. This morning we learned that even Satan can quote Scripture. But we also learned that Satan ignores context. Are we ever in danger of doing the same? Don't get me wrong. I think it's important to know our Bibles. I think sometimes Lutherans, we fail on this end. All right, we get really excited about, I'm saved by grace through Jesus. I don't need to read this. No, that's not what we're saying. It's important to know your Bibles, and I think there is value in memorizing Scripture verses. I think it's great to read our Bible cover to cover. And yet, I wonder if the story of the temptation of Christ shows us that it's not enough just to read the Bible. It's not enough just to memorize passages and words from Scripture. I wonder if Jesus is telling us that the most important, crucial detail is to know the story of the Bible. When the devil quotes Scripture, Jesus answers with more Scripture, right? Jesus knows the larger theme of the Bible is love. And love does not ask for proof by asking for a spectacular stunt or miracle. And we all know that from healthy relationships in our lives. We don't say to our spouse, we don't say to our boyfriends or girlfriends, if you love me, you would do. Maybe we do say that, but it is not a good idea. If we wanted to distill it down, if we want to boil it down, the Bible is a love story of our God loving God's creation, loving humanity, loving us, loving you, and loving me. And I won't deny that there are some bizarre and troubling stories in the Old and the New Testament. All right? And yet these stories of violence, oppression of women, genocide, and other awfulness are not the story. Over and over again, God reaches out. He cares for, He liberates, He forgives, and He loves people who continually forsake God. He continually reaches out to people who chase money, power, empire, and other false gods. If you are looking for a Cliff Notes version of the story of the Bible, look no further than the gospel of Jesus Christ. And this is why, for the last 3 years, we've read the entire gospel in the context of our Lenten devotional. If you haven't picked one up, pick it up out there. Each year, we have the whole gospel, because we want the whole story. Some of Jesus' teachings are difficult and troubling. And yet it is impossible to miss the overwhelming story of God's love pouring through the words and actions of Jesus Christ. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the dead are raised, and the poor have good news brought to them. And still, what is the people's response? And what is our response on Good Friday? Crucify Him. And yet God's love refuses to stay dead or let us go. God's love is stronger than death and rises on Easter morning, declaring that there is nowhere that we can run. There is no denial that we can make that is too grave. There's no betrayal too great to make God not want us. And this is the story of the Bible. God continues to love us even when we no longer love ourselves. The resurrection, new life in the face of death, saves us when all hope is gone. We can be forgiven. we can live again. We can be part of community again. And we always know with grace there also comes a challenge. God invites each of us to join God's story, to make our lives a love story, reflecting the grace, mercy, and generosity of Jesus Christ, out of gratitude for what we have been first given. And perhaps this is where God's story is so much better than Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, and yes, even Star Wars. God's love doesn't just seek to defeat evil. It seeks to transform it. I want to end with a story. Not too long ago, I was at the YMCA, and I was walking out in the parking lot, and I saw a car driving around to leave, and a bumper sticker that said, "Kill your local heroin dealer." So I did what everybody would do, and I stepped out in front of the car and asked him to stop. That's what we do, right? And asked him to explain it to me. I said, "Hey, I noticed your bumper sticker. What does it mean?" And evidently, this man's son had almost died from a heroin overdose. And it was something that he felt strongly about. And I thanked him, and I waved, and I said, "Hey, I hope I see you around sometime." It wasn't the time or space for a discussion. I can't imagine what it would be like to see your son or daughter poisoned, hurt, or killed by drugs. I can imagine wanting to hurt someone back who hurt my kid. And yet that story of revenge, is the world's story and not God's story. How can we embody God's story in our schools, in our jobs, in our communities? What if instead of "kill your local heroin dealer," there were stickers that said, "redeem your local heroin dealer"? What would that look like? It might still look like prison, but it also might look like a church supporting a halfway house to help former drug addicts, former criminals, former drug dealers to find work, to find community, to find new life. That story sounds really hard. But boy, does it sound like a story worth being a part of. We've started a bunch of stories here at this church. We've started a community garden. We've started an outdoor ministry, outdoor leadership program. We've been working with issues surrounding drug and alcohol addiction. Those stories are far from complete. How will you join yourself to God's story? I can't wait to see.